said a very nice thing to me recently. They say that whenever they hear the word corrections, the first thing they think about is this segment. You know who said that? Jonathan Franzen. Brian Lodato won the Thanksgiving corrections pool, where the money goes to whoever has the box that lines up with the minutes and seconds. I've been told by not just him, but other members of the crew, Kenny really needs this one. The San Diego Zoo no longer has giant pandas. They have red pandas now. Do you know how you go from giant pandas to red pandas? Ozempic. We do a segment called Surprise Inspection. I read bad jokes our writers have written. And then I show their picture to shame them. Well, I was gobsmacked this week when I called for Matt Goldich's picture, expecting this, the established Matt Goldich surprise inspection photo, and instead was greeted with this. It doesn't work with this. This guy writes jokes like, Pepsi has announced it will no longer offer Sierra Mist soda. Oh no, then how will I make my famous Sierra Mist stew? This guy writes that. This guy writes grunge rock anthems. Pull a surprise inspection on this guy, he flicks a lit cigarette in your face. Since when are our writers allowed to update their own headshots? Since when? I blame Lloyd. Our photographer. The next time you ask Lloyd, I invite you to say, can they do it? I don't have the authority, wee man. They don't film that high at bars. Also, in surprise inspection, Brian Donaldson had a joke about chlamydia. The joke was the FDA last week authorized the first at-home STD test for chlamydia, so give the FDA a big round of clap. Many of you pointed out clap is slang for gonorrhea, and Brian wanted me to tell you he definitely knows that. He can't go into why, but he knows that. Chlamydia got its name from the Greek word chlamydia, which means cloak. I mean, honest, what would be a bigger red flag on a date? If they had chlamydia or if they showed up to the restaurant in a cloak? Happy to announce. Think you've noticed, but I'll announce it anyway. Closer Look videos are once again available in Canada. And to our Canadian viewers, I'd just like to say I hope you learned your lesson. You know what you did. So many people, I'm so glad we got this cleared up. The comments about this, you know, despite their reputation for politeness, Canadian people have been so snippy about this, like it was a personal choice that I made. Somebody said, oh, now you won't show us closer looks, you jerk? Like this was up to me. Like once a week, NBC comes in and checks which countries I'm okay. With the closer looks being available to watch. Like somebody walked in and said, "You still good with Canada?" And I'm like, "No." I'm tired of Canada. Remove it. Let them watch Kimmel. I did an impression of Werner Herzog as Shaggy, singing the lyrics to the Infidelity classic. It wasn't me. Many of you pointed out that I was not doing Shaggy's lines from that song. I was doing the lines from the other half of that song that were sung by Rick Rock. Shaggy's role in the song is giver of advice. The core of that advice you could boil down to say it wasn't me. Rick Rock, if you watch the video, which I highly recommend, Rick Rock goes to his home to receive this advice. I do want to apologize for the Rick Rock erasure, though, in the bit that I did last week. He's great in the song. You know who I always get Rick Rock confused with? Rick. I love Shaggy, but Rick Rock does most of the work in that song. It's funny that Shaggy called him up and said, "I've got a great song." You guys remember how Shaggy talks, right? So just imagine him talking like that while I talk. "Hey, Rick Rock, got a great new song I want you on." "Cool, what's it about?" "Oh, it's about a dude who deaf gets caught cheating because he's dumb as a box of rocks." "Okay, cool, and what do I do?" "No, that's you, Rick Rock." "I'm gonna be in the video, I'm gonna be wearing the most kick-ass purple suit." Rick Rock was like, "Oh, do I get to wear a purple suit?" He's like, "Red turtleneck." This was sent to me. I want to establish. This was not a prop I asked Ellen for. This came in the mail. This is one as awkward. Many of you included the timestamp, so I became concerned because everybody had the same timestamp. Accused me of passing gas in last week's correction. And then tried to get away with it like nothing happened. I went back and listened. It's the chair. It is 100% the sound of the chair. And like, ha, I get it. Flatulence is funny. But false accusations are not. I'm going to prove it. I'm going to play it, so listen. And by the way, really listen, because you can even barely hear it. Roll it, Alex. It's Thanksgiving, not April Fool's bays. It was lowbrow. It's a lowbrow joke, but I feel like, I earned it with that Franzen ref. Here are some comments from this week. I like to isolate certain comments that really stick with me. "Hey, Seth, I never really enjoyed you on SNL or anything really. But for some reason, closer look and corrections work on me. Right next to Impressions Camp, they have a compliment camp. Check it out next summer." My family was on the Thanksgiving show. Delight. Best I feel they ever did. Loved it. It was nice. It's nice to read comments when people at home also enjoy them as much as I did. Here's one. "Seth's brother is so good. It's like if Seth was funny and had charisma." But comment of the week. This is 88, by the way. Last week, 87th episode of corrections. I've watched all of these, and it still doesn't work. Talked about my kids and their middle names. My oldest first and middle name are Ash Olson. Ash Olson. Not, as one of you said, ass. We'll say this, hard to unhear it. Bad news, honey. The Jackals noticed something about Ash's name. Who are the Jackals? You know, from Emmy-nominated Corrections. Honey, I can hear you blinking. I also, we had a great Thanksgiving show, and then right after it, recorded a Thanksgiving Corrections. It was a really good one. I think a lot of you agreed. Someone even wrote, the crew must be extra drunk because they're really laughing this week. Or was it funny? They do this for a living, Doesn't have to be a chemical reason it played. I do a lot of work on corrections. You know what the hardest part is? Loading the comments. Believe it or not, that's the hardest part. Sometimes these things have like 3,000 comments. You just gotta keep scrolling down. Someone said that they could tell the can of Slice I used last week wasn't full. No. Think I'm gonna let someone ship me a full can of Slice? A soda they discontinued in 2005? You think that's safe? Yeah, I'll take a full can of Slice, some nitro, and some glycerin. Same box. Also, you know what? I was told I purse my lips weird before taking sips of my drink. It's normal. Watch this, Shoemaker. Tell me if it's not normal. Alex? See me next 2 weeks. Scooby-Doo is not an Anunnaki, as I said. He's a descendant of an Anunnaki, like all talking animals in that universe. That was one of 50 comments clarifying this. Here's another one. Point of order. Scooby is descended from a dog who was possessed by an Anunnaki, not a descendant from an actual Anunnaki. Through whatever magical process, the original dog's physiological attributes were permanently changed, and those traits continued down its lineage. The Scooby-Doo Anunnaki plot was part of Mystery Incorporated, which is one of the most popular and well-liked Scooby series. I was also told Scooby-Doo says Ruh-roh, but the Anunnaki pronounces it differently. Let's take a look.
Ooh, Rickroll.
Misplayed my closer. Almost out of time. Crew eagerly checking their watches. Will this be the week? for a certain someone. Again, want to stress something, didn't make this. Just came to the P.O. box. P.O. box. Kind of wish I hadn't looked. I did, though. Couldn't believe it. You know, every now and then I remember why I keep you jackals around. See me next week.